It's also bent. I think I just ripped my pants.
This is the hardest part of this entire install. Get that out.
Riley just crashed the drone into himself. The parts to start working on my car have slowly been trickling in, and they are finally all here, and today is the day to get started. So my car is going to have race car shocks. These are Bilstein's 8100 series remote reservoir bypass shocks with a bump zone, and I cannot wait to see what my car is like with these on. So without any more messing around, let's pull my car in the shop and get these on.
I think it's safe to say that the reason that the shocks stopped working is they let all their oil out. These Lexus GX vehicles have airbags in the rear, and the airbags are already a known failure point. This car is reaching more than 150,000 miles, which has us thinking that the time is probably sooner rather than later to address the airbags. We could replace the airbags with all new factory parts, but that's pretty pricey. And for less than that replacement cost, we're gonna be making a huge upgrade, deleting the rear airbag system, swapping in springs and hugely upgraded shocks.
There we go.
All right, what are you up to, Courtney?
Disconnecting the sway bar. I think I'm gonna have to call in reinforcements on this one.
There we go. Now we're moving.
In case you're wondering why we're doing this project right now, the road over the past 2 years has not been very nice to my car, and this is the result. And my car has gotten to the point where any bump I hit, even on the highway, I bottom out.
It also appears to be bent.
It's also bent.
Upgrade. A functional shock. And then it's gonna return slowly.
I've owned a lot of cars, and this is by far the most reliable car I've ever owned, so we're gonna try to take better care of her. Here's a snappy fun montage of all of the cars I've owned since meeting Riley. I'm gonna go fishing now, and in theory, the airbag is gonna come out when I do this.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Got it.
Oh, you like pull the clip out.
The airbag should be free now. It kind of looks like an instrument.
Your
What's that called?
xylophone? This is a step of this project that I've been dreading because I assumed that getting those airbags out was going to be super complicated with an impossible to reach spot.
It just took a piece of TIG wire. Let's do the other side. They said 50 foot-pounds. Is that Courtney tight or Riley tight?
That's as tight as Courtney can get it.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
Okay, so we followed the rest of the instructions on that kit, and we removed a relay and a fuse that controlled the air suspension, so now it won't try to turn on, and now I think we can just install the springs and the shocks.
Spring going
Do you
in.
need me to droop the axle?
Yes.
How much?
Keep going. One spring in. Shiny parts.
Shiny parts.
There it is.
Here we go. Time to install my remote reservoir bypasses. In case you're wondering what a bypass shock is, Riley's gonna give us a demo.
So shock absorber has oil. The oil gets pushed through small orifices as the shock goes up and down, and that's what creates the damping effect. A lot of shocks have an air charge that's in with that oil. The oil is in the bottom, the air is in the top. But because these shocks are a remote reservoir, there's a floating piston inside here. The air and the oil are separated, and so all that's in the shock is oil. That gives us a lot more cooling capacity, and there's no chance that the air will get aerated in the oil like a foamy, oily, airy mix. Along with that, these shocks are bypasses, which means that it has a compression and a rebound tube, making it the piston inside here position sensitive. So depending on the location of where the shock is in its travel, oil can either bypass the shock and go around through this tube to the other side, or not, depending on where that piston is. So basically what that means is that as the shock comes in on compression, it can get stiffer and stiffer as it comes up. Additionally, these shocks also have a bump zone in them. So right up here in the top, in the last like 1 inch of travel, they get even extra stiff so that you don't ever have a hard bang at the bottom of the shock travel.
And the translation to all of that is that my car is about to be really fun to drive on pretty much any dirt road around here. These are actually side specific. So this is the right rear. Here we go. Okay, I've got the wench.
Wench?
The right. You think we're gonna be done today?
I think that if we stop filming and just focus on doing it, we'll be done. It goes where all that stuff is.
What is all
What
that
is all
stuff?
that stuff?
Is that the air ride stuff? There's a bunch of stuff in the way where the reservoir is supposed to go.
It's supposed to go.
Right here.
This is the hardest part of this entire install, is just getting that out. Got it.
Oh yeah. Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna let the rear down and see how it sits. This should be like no-ish lift, maybe a little bit. We'll see.
You want to bounce in the back of it?
You can't even see my fancy shocks.
I know.
Only I know they're there. That's okay. That's enough.
It's pretty funny.
You ready?
Yeah. Ooh.
Hitting the whoops. Whoop, whoop. I think the only person sad about these upgrades to my car is Oliver, because it's about to get a lot less bouncy.
Oh my gosh, he looks so big now. He's getting huge. Looking at him through the camera, like. So before Oliver was born, Courtney and I actually went and we test drove a few new cars, thinking like, maybe it's the time to get a new car. But to be honest, we left the dealership feeling like this car does everything that we needed to do, and it's already paid for. That concludes the rear, onto the front.
This is a lot of steps. We're also going to be doing the upper control arm at the same time. So kind of like the rear, we have two things going on, but we can do them both at the same time.
We don't have a ball joint puller, but I do own hammers. That easy. All right, one control arm out. So the reason that we're replacing these control arms is that we are going to be lifting the front of this car by about 2 inches and adding a longer shock with more travel, which means that in the very bottom of the wheel travel, the tire will have significantly more droop than it used to have, which would maxim out this ball joint. So we need to put a different control arm in with a different style ball joint that has more travel. And also because this car has 150,000 miles on it, it's probably time to change this ball joint anyways.
As usual, we were overly ambitious yesterday. We thought we were gonna get my car done, and instead, I think we left it at around 7:30, looking like this. Overall, I'm really happy with how everything's turning out, but we need to get this done today because I need my car back. So with that, we're gonna hopefully get the front end done and then go take this thing for a test drive because I'm dying to know what it's like. Do you wanna put our dinner away?
Dinner of champions.
Here we go.
You wanna tell us about that shock?
So just like the rear, this is also a bypass shock, but because it's also a coilover spring, meaning the coil is over the shock, the bypass is an internal bypass. Just gonna set that there for a second. Yesterday evening when we were tired and hungry, we discovered that my CV boots are actually torn on both sides. I think we're gonna just take this opportunity to replace the whole shabs while we're at it, but that's something we're gonna have to order. So we're gonna have to come back to that, which is kind of a bummer. That will be a project for another day.
Because the tie rod's in the way here. Let me swing the knuckle forward just a little bit.
Another nut.
Courtney, what's one of your greatest fears in life?
You being in my personal space.
Yeah, and that was a success, but that was successful.
I think I just ripped my pants.
Where'd you rip them?
I can't turn around.
Really?
I can't turn around.
Okay, I turned it off. She literally ripped her pants right up her butt. There you go.
Got it.
You ever used such a fancy grease gun before? There, woo!
I don't think you actually want to watch us do the other side in real speed again, so here's the time lapse.
Courtney left her baby monitor on, so I got to sort of spy on her as she went to go get Oliver, and she is just so good with him, and I'm so happy and grateful to get to do this parenting thing with her, because honestly, I'd be lost without her when it comes to raising a kid. You left the baby monitor on, so I was spying on you.
Okay, I'm gonna torque the lug nuts and then we're gonna go for a drive. Oh my goodness.
Oliver, you ready to go for a ride?
Are you ready?
Show me.
I'm so excited.
Everyone buckled up? You ready? Yes. Oliver, you ready? This feels absolutely surreal that we own a car with bypasses. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been in a car before that felt smooth over these kinds of rocks. Like, okay, here it is. This is a big rock that sticks way up in the middle of the road that we've pretty much been driving around.
This is gonna be a good, ready?
Yep.
Ready? Stop it. No. Ooh, here's a good pothole. What pothole? I don't even have to hold the steering wheel. Riley just crashed the drone into himself.
It got me right in the tummy.
Are you okay?
Right there.
Oh my
Drone bite.
I'd like to give a huge thanks to Riley and Bilstein for making this build possible. I am so thrilled with how my mom car turned out.
We've installed a lot of off-road suspension systems, and I mean it when I say that I was thoroughly impressed with this install. The quality of the components was top-notch, the instructions were great. I mean, we didn't run into any issues.
So with that, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe or leave a comment down below.
We'll see you next time.